There is a legend during the 1800s. People have rumors that the ghost girl who lives in the woods is responsible for people's disappearances, and yet reports have been seen, sightings, and encounters of her, and yet missing files spread across West Virginia in the United States. In 1993, a young man named Alan and his friends joked about the urban legend of a ghost who lives in the woods. You think that the ghost is even real? L. Frederick clucked with his smile on his face. Alan smirked on his face. Of course not, man. Why ever would someone think the urban legend is even real? Ghosts aren't real. One of the group, named Evan, was nervous and felt his body shiver down his spine. You know, guys, I think that she is real. Have you seen the pic of people who went missing in the haunted woods? Alan and Frederick looked at Evan with their disbelieving faces. Dude, let me tell you something. She is not real. Those people would rather just make it up. The weeping ghost never existed. Evan confronted Alan about his arm touching his shoulders. If weeping ghost was real, she might as well be choking me to death in front of me. Like who cares about goddamn urban legend? Frederick clucked again, with a mock on his face, saw Alan pick on Evan and thought it was funny. Right, weeping ghost never existed, just like every myth throughout the world. They both laughed at each other, except Evan didn't laugh, but had a nervous look on his face. You guys are my best friends, but you need to understand this. This is serious. Evan was serious, and his tone was anxious, like a sort of school geek. Alan was getting annoyed. As if he walked away, going to the path of the trail in the woods. Alan, wait up. Frederick ran off. Evan kept looking until he saw them, or so he thought they were Alan and Frederick. Evan couldn't see in the dark as the fog grew. The two shadowy figures walked away into the distance, with Evan's eyes widening. He got worried that his friends had left them. Come on guys, don't leave me here. He ran down the wrong path, meanwhile two young men walking in the woods. However, Alan had an idea to prank Evan and even brought a ghost costume to try to scare him. Frederick, I got the ghost costume from my bag, so I was able to scare him. Alan pulled out a ghost costume, just a white blanket with two holes cut in it to make it look like a ghost. Alan began wearing the ghost costume as part of his plan to scare himself out of himself, his sinister grin on his face. Frederick looks impressed and sees it as a brilliant idea to scare Evan. Man, it will be awesome to use a ghost costume to shit out of him. Both young men laughed, echoing through the woods. Meanwhile, Evan got lost in the woods and tried to call their names, but there was no response. He got so nervous, with shivers down his spine, walking the trail by himself. The critters were making noises as he walked alone. Gee guys, this isn't funny anymore. Stop playing hide and seek for me. You know I'm too old for tea. Then all the animals stopped. The owls stopped hooting. The crickets stopped cricking. It was silent, then a sobbing, crying sound like a woman in sadness. Frederick heard sobbing from deeper in the woods, which made him feel a bit uncomfortable. However, his mind thought, what if she was lost and couldn't find way back? He began to run to find the voice coming from the distant woods. He called hello. But no response. He had no choice to follow the voice, as began to walk to find the sobbing is coming from, until he felt dreadful where the woods felt uncomfortable with him, as Frederick walks to get closer to her voice until He arrives at the end of the tree where Frederick saw a woman weeping that she covered her face by her hands. She was wearing all white dress, having pale skin and also in black long hair. Frederick didn't recognize her as an urban legend. At first, he walks to her and begins to speak. "Hey, Ma Ann, you seem to be lost." But she gives no response. She stopped crying. His head reached her shoulder until she removed her hands from her face, which made Frederick shocked and terrified. Her eyes were pitch black and also having pale skin on her face. She was beautiful, but also made him terrified that he realized that it was her, the weeping woman that Frederick knows about her. He began to step back away from her, as she began to stand up and staring at his soul, looking into his eyes. The weeping woman began to grin on her face with a hauntingly laughter echoing through the woods. He couldn't to feel shaken through his body. Frederick started to run. He went fast into the woods to get away from her. He heard screams so loudly that she was getting after him. He tried to run faster, faster, and faster until he ran out of his oxygen to breathe. Frederick hid into one of the oak trees. He kept himself quietly and he whimpered to himself to pray that she would leave him alone. He heard footsteps almost silently with noises quietly on the ground. His nerves went up to feel fear within Frederick. As she was looking for her victim to where he has been hiding, she began to speak. "Come on out, my dear boy. I just wanted to play in false sweetness." Within her fake smile on her face, even though it was her wicked grin, he couldn't move himself. He stayed here to wait for her gone, as her footsteps began to quieter and quieter until nothing but silence. Frederick thought he was safe from her. As he came out from the big oak tree, he turned his head to see any signs of her. Nothing. He let out a sigh. "I need to warn Alan and Evan about this. A weeping woman is here." He turned with a shocked expression to see her dark grin on her face. She grabs his arm tightly and lunges at him, and he falls on the ground. He saw that the woman was holding a knife that looked like it was covered in dry blood on the brutal knife. She raised her hand. Frederick began to scream, echoing through the woods. She strikes down at his chest, stabbing him. She laughs insanely, and stabbing him again, and again. He groans and, choking in blood, comes out from his mouth, spilling on the ground. Frederick tried to get up, but his consciousness began to fade away. His body began to stop moving. His hand fell on the ground. He slowly died with eyes turning to gray, and she looked at the lifeless body that made her feel dark joy. She gets off from the top of his body, grabbing his leg and dragging him into the distance into the dark forest. Meanwhile, Alan and Evan were waiting and impatient. Alan was frustrated in anger. He growled, "Raffra, I can't take it anymore. Where the hell is Nerd? Is he coming back or not, Evan?" Evan was impatient, unlike Alan. Evan spoke to him. "Dude, I don't think he is coming back. He might have gotten lost in the woods, and probably his phone might be dead." Evan crossed his arms, looking at Alan. He sighed, and he took his ghost costume off. "You're right, Evan. We shouldn't leave our friend in the forest. We should just find him and make sure he was alright. So are you coming with me?" He nodded in agreement with his best friend. "I am coming with you, and once we get Frederick back, we are leaving the forest." And he smirked on his face. "Yeah, I better hope not that he tried to do anything stupid to scare us. I will beat his ass up." As they begin to walk to find Frederick, as the two young men begin to call his name and shout his name again. "Fred! Where are you, bro?" said Alan. "Fred." And Evan tried to call his name again. "Frederick. Come on out." As they walked into the trail, and no response, just silence. Evan was upset but began to talk with Alan. "Alan, maybe we should split up into two. I go left, and you go to the right. How does that sound?" Alan wouldn't feel paranoid to be alone by himself. Evan asking him if he was alright. "Bro, are you alright? You look nervous." He went quickly to act naturally. "Why yeah, I'm fine, Evan, let's just split."